don't compare your rest day to someone's game day. Like, that is saying that wives, you have way more power than you give yourself credit for. There is a really easy solution to any of these like little problems that people think are such big problems. Like, no girl, change your mind shit. No, Jesus, my friend. We want to be like Jesus. Hello you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my last video of 2022. I thought to kind of conclude the year, I would do a little Q&A. I think the last time I did one of these was when Evangeline was like a month old or something. It has been a hot minute. So I'm gonna be answering some of your questions. Evangeline should be waking up from her nap in like less than 20 minutes. So I am gonna try my best to answer as many questions as I can and give like a pretty good explanation, not like rush through them, but try to get through a decent amount. Okay, what made you change your wardrobe? So in case you guys did not see my modesty video, I will link that here, but I feel like I pretty much explain a lot of it there. That has been a big shift in my wardrobe, but also just like, I don't know, my body has gone through so many different changes. And so I've really gone through my closet and just picked out pieces that I could walk into. Like, my goal was to be able to walk into my closet with my eyes closed, pick a shirt, pick a pair of pants, and then like be able to make an outfit that simply and easily. And so for me, that meant simplifying it. So I went through my entire closet. Any duplicates I got rid of. Anything that looked too similar I got rid of. Anything that was too trendy I got rid of. I also got rid of like crop tops and stuff, and kind of just like filtered through and just made it more simplified, more unified, and just easier to like get dressed. It's just so nice being able to just go into my closet and just doom and not spend more than 5 seconds thinking about what to wear. And I truly think it's because of me like simplifying it, but also having the modesty touch to it. All the stuff that I own now are modest, now with the exception of something like this, but it's so easy to just throw on a tank top. And so I have found different techniques and different ways to make something that might be a little bit more immodest to make it modest. So I've had a lot of fun with that. Okay, someone asked, are you exclusively breastfeeding slash pumping? I am exclusively breastfeeding. This is my first time like truly exclusively breastfeeding. I breastfed my other kids, but on the occasion, Jordan would feed him a bottle of like frozen breast milk, and then we did switch the other two onto formula around 6 months, I think. And I was doing like formula and breast. But this is the first baby that I've had that it's been exclusively breastfeeding, and she won't take a bottle even if it's like frozen milk. I've honestly really enjoyed it. Like, there are some times where I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be nice to be able to be away from her for like more than 2 hours, or like when I go get my nails done, something super simple, like I have to request that they do my hands and feet at the same time because I can't do them separate. And for a while I was doing them separate just because I didn't want to bring her in and it would just take so long, and I would always get that call from Jordan of like, she's screaming her head off, like, you need to come home. So there's been just like slight little adjustments that I've had to do, but basically the solution to it is to just bring her everywhere that I go. And I've honestly really enjoyed it. I've really loved it. I don't know what it is about the third kid, but you just realize how quick that time goes and how fast it is, and you just really know how just simple something like this is and how beautiful it is. And I just genuinely, I really see it as a plus. I know it's really easy to see it as a negative, but I'm just so thankful that my milk supply has been strong enough this time, because with the other two it wasn't. So I did have to supplement. And if you are in that situation, don't put yourself down about that, because I was there too, and that was definitely something I dealt with. But this time I just really prayed about it, because I was like, I really want to breastfeed her. Like, I really want to like just breastfeed her. And so it has been such a big blessing, and I'm so thankful that I have been able to do that. So however you feed your baby, be proud of how you do it, because your baby is surviving because of that. So don't think less of yourself if that isn't the same thing for you, or if you've had a different experience. However your baby eats is beautiful. Okay, I think this is the elephant in the room, but there's just like question after question after question about this, just worded differently. But people have been asking, why and when did I start not showing my kids as much, and why, how, all that. So I would say there was a specific moment, probably about a year ago. Can't remember if I was pregnant yet. Lines are blurry. I remember we were still at our old house. I remember I was in bed and I was with the kids. And I remember I was on social media, and I was just the people that I follow were posting their kids. And I remember being like slightly, not irritated, but being like, okay, I don't really want to see your kids. Like, I don't follow you because of your kids. I like follow you because of you. And I just had this really like aha moment of like, wait, maybe that's how people feel the same about me. And then from then I was like, wait, Lord, bring me some clarity here. I just started praying about it. And this was like a long time coming. And the thing that I really struggled with was just because of how I share my life, and I have shared so much of it, and I genuinely enjoy sharing my life, and my kids are such a big part of my life that I remember when I had Alethea, it was hard for me even to distinguish, like, how am I gonna do a daily vlog when my life literally revolves around my baby and my child? How am I about to show what I'm doing in my day when it revolves around my child? So I think now that I've had 3, I am able to really distinguish and kind of just separate the two, because for the longest time it was just hard for me because I was like, okay, Lord, I know this is what I'm supposed to do, but how do I get here? And this is why I say it's been like a year in the making, because it did take me trial and error and kind of figuring out like what felt right, what didn't feel right, how much, how little. Like, is this okay? Is this not okay? And I'm still working through that. But I guess at the end of the day, it's just that I want privacy for my kids. I'm okay, and I know what it means to post a video. I know what it means to like take a photo and post a photo. My kids don't, and as they're getting a little bit older now, I want to be respectful of that. Not to say that you can't do that with a baby, but a lot of you have been like, why aren't you showing her? And it's just for privacy reasons. I could definitely do an entire video on this. Jordan and I could talk about it on the podcast if you guys want, but I definitely do think there is an element to this that I think every parent should be asking themselves. And I really wish that I would have discerned or had the maturity to realize this a lot sooner. I beat myself about the fact that it took me so long to get here, but there's nothing I can change about the past. There's only what I can do moving forward. So for me, what that looks like will be different on each day, each moment. And so yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out what that looks like. I'm very happy with that decision. Okay, Sissy is stirring up in there. How do you balance household tasks being a stay-at-home mom? Do you have a daily schedule? Yes, I think there's a lot that I could say about this. I could definitely do, and I plan on doing a bunch of videos on this because I think it has definitely taken me a while to get to the point where I'm at, where I feel comfortable with my household tasks. And a couple of things that I've done, minimizing a lot of things. I will constantly go through and like fully declutter our home. It's so easy to get so much clutter in the home with so many kids and like clothes and all this stuff. And so frequently decluttering, and you guys have probably noticed, but I do so many decluttering videos because truly that is how I keep on task. Every single day I do a list of things that I do every single day, no matter what day it is. So for example, laundry, I do that every single day. Dishwasher, unload and reload every single day. Every single night I put my dishwasher to run, and every single morning I unload the dishwasher. Make the beds, all of the kids' beds, our room, pick up just like little tiny things, and then once a week we'll do like a deep clean of like wiping the bathrooms, vacuuming, and all that stuff. So I've definitely gotten in a really good schedule and a really good routine where it doesn't feel overwhelming because I'm taking little bites here and there. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So how do you keep up with household tasks? One bite at a time. And that has truly, in a very simplified, condensed version, been how I've been able to handle it, especially since having a baby. And so yeah, I plan on making several videos like this. So if that is something that you're interested, give a thumbs up to this video, and I would love to further expand on household stuff. Okay, how many more kids do you want to have? When will you feel complete? I do not know when we will feel complete. That is totally up to the Lord. That is something that for a while I like felt like I had full control over, and to a certain degree, yes, you do. But I feel like I don't know, after we had Evangeline, like 3 always felt like such a big number and like such a big like whoa once we had 3. And it has not felt like that, and I'm constantly, and I share this all the time, I'm constantly looking around my house to find my other kids when there are no other kids. And it's just so funny to me. And so, yeah, I'm not sure about that yet. Also, the Lord has recently put something really hard, really heavy on mine and Jordan's heart that I'll share about soon, but I'm really excited about this new chapter too. So, yeah, I don't have that answer. Only the Lord does. Oh, this is a great question. Tips on how to give your husband grace in the first weeks of bringing home a baby. So on our podcast, As For Me, My House, I recently had a girl talk episode where I had my friend Savannah, and she kind of shared on her first year of motherhood, and this is one thing that we kind of touched on, so I will link that right here. But in summary, When you're pregnant and welcoming a baby into the world, you are actively carrying that baby. So you're feeling all the kicks. You're already losing sleep. You're already having to pee frequently. There's like so many transitional things that you're physically going through that is already mentally helping you prepare for this baby. But for our husbands, it is literally like baby's here and they're like, whoa. Like, I feel like for a lot of men, once a baby actually comes out and they see this human, they're like, wait a minute. That's really when it hits them. So when we had like 9 months to mentally prepare, for them, sure they could have, but it wasn't that real. It didn't feel as tangible that once the baby is born, then it's slowly giving out to them. So definitely try your best to give them grace. Explain to them what you need and what is going on. I remember when I had Ari and I was dealing with more mental stuff, it was really helpful for me to find different pages and different accounts that I followed that explained postpartum anxiety, that explained postpartum depression, that explained what is physically and like chemically going on in my brain, to explain that to Jordan. So I'd literally just send it to him and he would go and vent through that page. And he was willing to learn, he was willing to help. So I think just finding different resources were super helpful too. But also maybe explaining like some household chores and tasks that you were doing that you might physically not be able to be doing anymore. I remember I didn't do the dishes for like a week after Evangeline was born just because it physically really hurt me. I had a lot of back pain and like bending over to like wash dishes was just really painful to me. So I explained that to Jordan. I was like, babe, I can't be doing no dishes. Okay, I can't be doing dishes. And then some things, be willing to like be okay with that it's not gonna work. So like laundry. Laundry was really hard for us to keep up with those first couple of weeks just because it was something that was my task, and just being in bed, it just wasn't being done, and it was something that was harder for Jordan to do, and with like us all navigating this new baby. So just give yourself grace in those areas too. Grace upon grace upon grace. Okay, lots and lots of house questions. I will be giving an update probably in a different video, but this question said, any house updates on your build, and then what would you say your style is? So we will give another separate update on that pretty soon. But for the style, this has been so much fun because I am trying to get away from the whites and trying to get away from, just trying to go out of my comfort zone and try to make something more timeless. So you guys would be so surprised to hear that we have pink tile in one bathroom, we have green tile in another bathroom. Our cabinets are going to be wood and like a dark wood stain. There's like so many things that I'm trying to do to stay away from white. I think the only white part of our house will be our walls, and I'm even debating on not making those white. We have one room that is going to be like a dark green sage, like kind of like this dress, but like ceiling, floor, like everything. So yeah, I'm trying to go out of my comfort zone with this, but then also trying not to get so up in my head, because this whole thing too about this house is one thing that the Lord has really just taught me is like, who cares? Like truly, it is not such a big deal. And so I've been kind of balancing this wall of like, yeah, sure I get to pick this, but like I don't really care to. Like I'm just so thankful that I have a home, you know? So it's just been, the Lord has just been teaching me so much in these different ways of, yeah, it's cool and it's fun, and it's been a really creative way for me personally to like get my creativity out. But then I'm balancing the thing of like, okay, it's really not that big of a deal. A home is a home. I'm just really thankful to have a place to sleep and have my kids at. So okay, someone said, you do so much. Do you ever get overwhelmed or depressed? I just want to say that social media can make things seem a certain way. I feel like this is just one overarching thing. And I don't know if it's because this is what I do, so I know behind the scenes of like stuff that happens, but just because it, not to say that I'm not doing so much, yes, I'm well aware of like how full my plate is, but don't feel the need to compare yourself and what your day looks like compared to someone else, because sure, I may have done a bunch of stuff today, but what you didn't see is the last 2 days of rest that I had that gave me the fuel that I needed to be able to do that one day. So don't compare your game day to someone's rest day, or don't compare your rest day to someone's game day. Like, don't feel the need to like be like, well, I could be doing more, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. No, you shouldn't. Your track looks very different from someone else's track. And the beautiful thing about social media is that we are exposed to a wide range of people. And the negative thing about social media is that we're exposed to a wide range of people. And so that is up for so much interpretation. So for me, I personally love being on the go. That is just what I like to do. I like doing this, I like doing that, organizing, Organizing is my jam. It's my thing. I love it. I love being with my kids. Like, I get okay? My likes and things that make me thrive may be the things that you absolutely hate and adore, like absolutely hate and cannot stand to do. And the things that you love and thrive at and are so good at figuring out, I may not be so very good at, okay? So there are things that we are really good at and things that we probably could get a little bit better at. So don't compare the things that you aren't as good at to someone whose that thing is what they excel in. Let's just not, okay? Because that just doesn't leave us anywhere. The only thing that we should be comparing ourselves to is Jesus and how we can be more like him, because that is all that matters. Why would you want to be like me, some random person in Michigan? No. Jesus, my friend. We want to be like Jesus. Okay, I saw a couple of questions about thoughts on churches, how to find a church, and Jordan and I did an entire podcast episode on this, kind of just talking about mega churches and finding a church and what to look for. So I will link that here, because once we really truly felt like the Lord called us to the church that we're at, it has really affected us in so many different ways, and I feel like the fruits of it are very evident, and so it's been such a big blessing. So I will link that down below, but this is just something that I encourage everyone to be praying about. If it's a church that you've been at for 20 years and you're like, whoa, like this is just what I've known, pray about it. Don't be somewhere just because you're comfortable, or don't be somewhere because you've always been there and you have great connections. Like, yes, that's a big blessing, but I think everyone can pray about their church situation. Oh, this is such a great question. Okay, you guys have really good questions. I'm having such a hard time finding, like, answering all of them, because I want you guys to be able to get so much out of this. Okay, here's what they're so good. Okay, not a question, but can you please pray for my family? I'm trying to build my faith, but my spouse is not really in alignment with me, and it's really hard building a relationship with the Lord. I just want to encourage you, because I know that's the shoes of so many women. And can I just say that there is hope for you, my friend. No one, and I mean no one is too far gone. No one is too far lost for the Lord to be able to grab them by the hand and pull them back in. There is, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. There is a verse. It is 1 Peter 3. It says, like wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be warned without a word by the conduct of their wives. Ooh, yeah. Do you know what that's saying? That is saying, even if your husband does not obey the word or know the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. So that is saying that wives, you have way more power than you give yourself credit for. And I can tell you right now that your husbands are not going to be won over by the word and by the Lord, by your naggingness, by your complaints. He'll be won over by the word, from the fruits and the beauty that is currently living in you through God. So it is just really cool. I have chills right now. Anyone else have chills? It's just crazy to see and know that our actions and how we portray the Lord is what can win over our husbands. Think about it. If we're acting like the world, why on earth would he want anything to do with Jesus? Because it's like, well, Jesus, my wife claims to know Jesus, but she acts like everyone else. When we start acting like Jesus and start acting and being a wife that the Lord calls us to be, and we're different, and there's just something about us when we're slow to speak, when we're slow to anger, when we exhibit these fruits of the word, like what the Bible calls us to do, when we start doing that, that is what is going to make him, without a word, by the conduct of their wives, will they know Jesus. So it just, woo! Wow. Is that not powerful? So I will be 100% praying for you. If you guys can also keep her in prayer. Sister, I'm excited for you. This is just the beginning. I'm so excited for you, and I cannot wait to see what the Lord does with your family. But prayer is powerful, and without prayer, there is no power. Every day, I'm talking every day, fall to your knees before the Lord and pray that he teach you, that he show you, that he give you wisdom. The Bible literally says, if you lack wisdom, all you have to do is ask. Ask him and he'll give you wisdom. Just ask. Oh, do you know how easy? Literally be like, Lord, I need wisdom. He literally says, if you lack wisdom, ask and you shall receive it. So ask him, tell him. There might be something that's so simple that the Lord knows exactly what it is. Let him use you. Let him speak through you. Just be willing to submit yourself and humble yourself before the Lord for him to be able to do that. Set aside the pride, set aside the anger, set aside our flesh, and let the Lord do his thing. Okay, I love this question. What's something different that each child has taught you? I really, really love this question because I hear from a lot of you every time that I have a child what has been different or like how I've grown. And so it's just funny how evident it is that each child really does help mature me. When I had Alethea, I was 22. I was just fresh 22. So I was really young when I had Alethea. And so I think that alone just really made me just wake up. And then with Ari, it just really put me in a different space just because of the postpartum depression and stuff that I had dealt with. And I think with Evangeline, it has really been just like my saving grace, because with Ari, that was hard for me. And then with Alethea, it was hard because it was my first, and then like having the two. And now I really feel like the Lord has just taught me so much. I feel like I can't even name specifics because it's just been so many different things, but I've just been very open to allowing the Lord to teach me things and humbling myself to be like, yeah, that wasn't cute. Like, yeah, maybe I should change that. So I feel like just my attitude has really changed in so many ways. Oh, in so many ways. Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful because you think like, oh, these kids are here for me to teach them, and like these kids are here for me. But like, sis, sorry, but they're gonna teach you a whole lot. A whole lot. And another thing that we will be diving into the podcast in the new year is just childhood trauma. That is something that we are going to be talking about, and just kind of just childhood stuff and just restoring the relationship with your parents. And so I feel like just with my children alone, that has really pushed me into that corner to kind of unwrap and dig through and figure out. So that's been really beautiful. Okay, last one, because I feel like this is something that a lot of women could resonate, but how do you prevent getting depressed while being a stay-at-home mom? I'm struggling really bad. I have a couple of just really practical tips. Get dressed every day. I always get questions. People are like, why do you get dressed? I'm like, because if I don't, then I'm in my PJs all day, and I just don't want to be in my PJs all day. I really had this epiphany the other day of like, my kids are going to be young and have been young for several years. Can you imagine if I would have not gotten dressed every single day since Alethea was born? That would have been like 4 years of my life of not getting dressed. And so even something as simple as just getting yourself dressed, you don't have to have these crazy outfits. Literally just throw on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. You don't even have to do your hair. Just like put on a slow, messy bun or something. Like, it's really just putting some type of effort into yourself and what you look like that day, I think really impacts the day. Another thing for me too is making sure that I am able to do something that I enjoy every day. This has looked very different recently, but for example, we have really been loving The Chosen. And so every single night we are going back and rewatching. We're like bouncing all around, especially since season 3 came out. But we just watch that, and to me that's something that I really enjoy, that brings me joy. Another thing that I really enjoy doing is getting my nails done or having girls' night. Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how impactful having girls' night is. Even if like I can't have, even if they just come to me and come over and I just make dinner for everyone. Like, I feel like sometimes it's really easy to be like, well, I can't spend time on myself because that's going to require money, or that's going to require a babysitter. Well, you can do stuff that don't require that. Like, you can go on date night once the kids are down for bed, or you can have your friends come to you so you don't have to leave, or you can ask everyone to bring a dish so you're not having to cook for everyone. There is a really easy solution to any of these like little problems that people think are such big problems. Like, no girl, change your mind shift. Mind shift, change. Okay? Gotten really good at that too. I think that's been the biggest thing that actually having Evangeline has learned me. These like little mindset shifts of like, this is bad. No, there's actually 7 good things about this. So, okay, I'm done rambling. My boobs are hurting and I'm gonna go wake up my baby. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I cannot wait for the new year. If you didn't know, our podcast, Ask For Me in My House, is gonna have weekly episodes going up every single Monday. So if podcasting is something that you're interested, we're doing both long form and short form. So there is something for everyone in there. And I'm really excited because that is something that I'm looking forward to. That is something that brings me joy and I've been looking forward to. So yeah, love you guys. Let me know if you have a prayer request, leave it down below and we will be praying for you. Keep each other in each other's prayer. Beautiful community. Bye. See you in the new year.